I guess Lenny Kaye is such a big deal on myself and my friends at that time. He compiled a record called Nuggets, which was his kind of choice of garage and psychedelic bands, and at that time it just made a lot of sense. We were listening to stuff like the Cramps and the Gun Club and Tav Falco, and suddenly this record, this double album of records kind of dropped into our world, and in amongst that was the 13-4 Elevators, which is still the cornerstone of the music I love. You know, the thing about those kind of early kind of garage psychedelic records is they're not musicians who are actively trying to present music that explores the inner mind kind of thing. They're playing rock and roll music and chewing acid at the same time, so you get this kind of weird hybrid. When I started listening to music, you know, it's like if you're talking about psychedelic music, it was like the Chocolate Watchband, the Red Crayola, the 13-4 Elevators, the Monks, Count 5, the Seeds, all this kind of stuff. But then gradually the lines blur, you know, and it's like Kraftwerk can be as psychedelic, can be as psychedelic. I still maintain that the most psychedelic song I know is Slippin and Slidin by Buddy Holly. People always want to bag these things up and say this is psych, this is the blues, this is R&B, and the lines are more flexible than that. I think the Chocolate Watchband are a better band than the Beatles. You know, they're like making rock and roll records. They're not making records that their records aren't being made by men in white coats like engineers. They're putting down this kind of fundamental sound, this really primitive thing. The good thing about that period in the late 60s is people were trying so hard to do one thing and kind of it up at every turn, and I think what the result of that was this absolute thrill, this kind of amphetamine-fueled thrilling music.